Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. We have to ask, who the hell does Nicola Sturgeon think she is? During her tenure in office as leader, she spent over £10,000 on VIP lounges, meet and greets and things like that at airports. Now, if she has to travel as part of her job, fair enough, but they should buy the basic flight ticket for her. If she wants to upgrade, she does so out of her own pocket. And if she wants this VIP meet and greet and access to expensive lounges, again, she should pay. We need to work out the total cost, get all the bills together and present them to her and say that she has 31 days to make good the difference. I'm sure she can afford it. She might have the odd £600,000 laying around somewhere. Who knows? But certainly, she seemed to be living the life fantastic at the expense of the taxpayers. People could barely afford to put food on the table. Meanwhile, she was supping champagne in the first class lounge prior to her first class seat and whisking her for the 50-minute journey to London or whatever it will be. We'll take a look at this to see why this woman was so self-entitled as to think that she was in any way a very important person. She's not special. More special needs, I think. Here goes. So, Nicola Sturgeon and her aides spent £10,000 on VIP airport services so she could be treated like royalty. She's not royalty. She's a nasty, vicious little shitbag. But she wanted to feel special. She said, "I'm the leader of Scotland. I'm the Lord Mayor of Scotland, and I demand and deserve first-class treatment." Meanwhile, the people in Scotland are suffering terribly from every decision my party's ever made. The SNP is accused of frittering cash on frivolous purchases at the expense of the public purse after Labour got access to nearly 60,000 individual spending entries on internal credit cards made by officials. These weren't things that were being bought on behalf of the government or for the people. This was all basically for themselves. This is organised crime on a grand scale. Nicola Sturgeon and her staff used nearly £10,000 of public money to be treated like royalty in airports when she was First Minister. A credit card data dump reveals civil servants paid for Sturgeon to receive VIP upgrades when ordinary passengers had to stand in line. The disclosures came after Labour got access to nearly 60,000 individual spending entries on internal credit cards made by officials. Why are these officials being allowed to do this? Everything spent that's public money should be publicly accountable, and it should be published. The spending covers late 2019 to 2022. It spans many government departments and totals £14.2 million. Is there any wonder there's a black hole in the budget? The public purse was also used to buy 6 copies of Sturgeon's selected speeches, as well as government's own independence white papers. Now, presumably they couldn't afford toilet rolls, so they bought her speeches because that's about as much use as they have for them. And again, independence white paper, party political, spent at public money. Bill her. Send her the bill. I want to see her pay. Labour finance spokesman Michael Marra said, "These are the spending habits of an arrogant and entitled government with no regard for taxpayers." He said the SNP government is frittering away public money on frivolous purchases and VIP services, while services are stretched to breaking points and beyond. Indeed, most of them are already broken because of a lack of funds, but only lack of funds for things like education or for the NHS or for social care. Funnily enough, there always seems to be funds to make sure that Nicola has champagne in the first class lounge of Prestwick Airport. According to the figures, Sturgeon and her entourage routinely used lavish meet and greet airport services. One of the firms, Ace Handling Limited, is based at Gatwick Airport, and it's clear about the high-end service it provides with the boast, "We treat you like royalty." And of course, Sturgeon, in her mind, she was the new Queen of Scotland. And indeed, that was the main reason she was pushing for an independent Scotland. She wanted to become the Queen. They say whether you're a VIP or just want to feel like one, Ace Handling is pleased to offer a VIP meet and greet service. Airline travel can be a stressful part of your journey. Let us escort you through the airport procedures, relieving you from the stress. And how much stress are they going to relieve the people of Scotland? I think only if there was a terrible accident. Clients can be met curbside. Well, to be fair, that's all she's got left, isn't it? Standing at the curb, wiggling her hips, hoping some passing trade slows down. But given her age and looks, not going to be making a lot of money, I suspect. Although Wayne Rooney might give her a quick ride. Anyway, they will then whisk you through check-in, security procedures to the VIP lounge, then on to your awaiting flight. Choose to be collected from your inbound flight and escort you through the immigration procedure, bag collection, and taken to your awaiting car. Because it's just too much to expect a woman like Nicola Sturgeon to wait in line for 5 minutes like normal people. Because she's not normal. And I don't mean that she's exceptional. I just think she's subnormal. Ace Handling was used 12 times at a total cost of about £5,000. A cross-reference of Sturgeon's travel records show it coincides with trips to Guernsey, the US, London and Bristol. She's doing a 50-minute flight to London and has to be escorted through an airport. Presumably, I'm going to imagine, because if she ever stood long enough in a public place, she'd be abused terribly, which I would love to see. I would pay money for that. Ringside seats. Bring your popcorn, folks. The government also paid £1,605 to Platinum Services for a meet and greet at Dublin Airport for the First Minister. Sturgeon twice enjoyed the VIP treatment at Schiphol in Amsterdam at a cost of £1,271 and £946. That's per flight. £900 nearly either £1,200, nearly £1,300 and nearly £1,000 for one flight. You know, so £1,200 for the first one, £1,000 for the second one. I mean, seriously, the ticket probably only cost a couple of £100. What is wrong with this woman? Is she quite incapable of acting like a normal person? Civil servants also bought books, which opened the administration to mockery. I'm surprised that they can read. They splurged public money on 21 copies of Michael Barber's How to Run a Government so that citizens benefit and taxpayers don't go crazy. Well, they bought the copies, but obviously nobody read them. Officials spent £6.29 on a book called Why Does Everything Go Wrong? Did they write it? £2.99 on I'm Not Good Enough. Now, that's one they have all read, definitely. £21.50 on The Inmates Are Running the Asylum. They didn't need to buy that book, we all know it. And £11.47 on a book called The Far Right English Defence League. What were they doing? Trying to learn from them. A further £2.99 was shelled out on Are You Strong Enough to Keep Your Temper? That was £2.99 wasted, wasn't it? And £20 on a book on irritable bowel syndrome. Well, to be fair, all this gives me the complete shits. More than £100 was spent on 6 copies of Women Hold Up Half the Sky, described as the selected speeches of Nicola Sturgeon. And who on earth would want to read it? Listening to them is bad enough. £4.19 on the indie white paper the government produced. And an official bought 2 copies of The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, a leadership fable. And boy, have they fulfilled all 5 and more. A credit card was used to spend nearly £25 on 2 books on Karl Marx. Do they not know communism has failed? And £6.29 on overcoming relationship problems, presumably for her marriage. Yeah. The data file also reveals £1,216 was spent on framing of 3 Declaration of Arbroath pictures for Tartan Week. Unbelievable. £400 to frame a picture. I tell you, these people haven't got a clue, have they? The government has regularly claimed it is underfunded. Well, I beg to differ. But Mara said, time and time again, they insist they can't do any more to tackle the turmoil in our NHS or our cost of living crisis, but they're willing to sign a blank cheque for their own bloated operation. The SNP, which Sturgeon led between 2014 and March this year, is separately under police investigation on how it spent over £500,000, which is actually over £660,000, on IndieRef2 donations. And of course, we've got the possible charges of embezzlement coming on that one. Not quick enough. Hurry up and get them arrested. I want to see that. The Scottish Government said spending through electronic purchasing cards is used to support government officials during their usual course of work, such as on training, catering, room hire and one-off supplies. The cards are not for personal expenditure. Sounds like bullshit to me. They certainly are. When you're getting whisked through, at an airport straight into the first class lounge, how do you justify that that is not personal expenditure? It's understood when Lord McConnell was First Minister, he was met by airport staff and did not use VIP services. There you go. Anyway, I shall round up and come up, but I think it's quite clear to see that she is such an entitled, self-aggrandising, narcissistic little psychopath, isn't she? Sooner she is arrested and taken down a peg or two, and maybe doing 10 years in Cornton Vale. That'll please us no end. Anyway, coming up. £10,000 though on meet and greet when you can't get your granny in for a hip operation. And she's not the bloody Queen. I know she wants to be. I know in her mind she is. She's the equivalent of the Queen. But she's not. She's little more than a town mayor. Sadiq Khan, he has 8 million people under him. She's got 5. He's only a mayor. She's not even the mayor. She's 5/8 of the mayor of London. And yet she runs along pretending to be bloody royalty. Meanwhile, everything around nearly £15 million wanked away on shite for this government. Send them the bills. You've got the information. Send the bill to every single person who bought stuff and tell them they've got to pay it back. Let's watch them shit themselves. Anyway, and then you can use that 14 million in the NHS. There you go. Anyway, I shall stop there. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what we're seeing here on the channel, please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, and don't waste money buying Nicola Sturgeon's book of speeches. It's utter ballbaggery and shite. Anyway, bye.